If you think that animation is for kids and anime is just a cartoon, stop being silly and watch the video. This is a picture of me from about 3 years ago. Back in the day when I used to think that anime was just, fan servicey, like titties on the screen. Girls wearing the skimpy clothing, making the weird little baby voices to each other. Tentacles and body lotion and stuff to make the titties pop. It's just all of these things I genuinely believed was in every single anime ever made. And if that sounds like you, keep on watching, because by the end of this video, I'm going to open you up to the brand new world of anime. A whole new world. I don't think I've ever hit that key in my existence. That was interesting. Nowadays, anime has gotten a lot more popular, even to the point that some of my older co-workers, like in their 40s, 50s, know what anime is at least. In 2025, it has become so much more normal to watch anime, and people do not think that you are a quote-unquote nerd if you do watch anime. However, there are still a few people who just refuse to give it a chance because of their, pre-existing notions about it. And don't get me wrong, as I mentioned before, I was that kid. I despised anime. I thought it was the weirdest thing I had ever seen. All I saw was the stuff of the little girls in the school uniforms acting really weird and childish, and at the same time being animated really provocatively. Seeing all the weirdness in just the anime fanbase as a whole, seeing people talking to each other and calling each other bakas and fucking all of this shit.
What do you mean I can't bring that in here? Well, that happens to be my fiancée, and her name is Mikasa, so show some respect. Now, about that table. I trust we don't have a problem here. Didn't think so.
You're gonna make an alpha mad. You know what I mean? That weird shit. The weirdos, all of these people just turned me off of anime as a whole. Back in my secondary school days, which, oh my god, that was 8 years ago. Oh my god. But yeah, back in my secondary school days, I always used to shit on anime. And the only reason I did talk that much shit about it is because of the pre-existing notions that I had. I am 110% sure that most of you people watching this video right now that claim that you hate anime and will never watch anime just haven't seen any good anime. Or any anime at all, and you're like me, who just went off of all the fucking videos and shit you've seen. My close friends that I played PlayStation with for years, notably Jason and Christian, both of them have been trying to convince me to watch anime and certain animes for fucking years, and every time I said the same thing. Not my thing. Anime is not for me. I'm too cool for anime. I don't want to get bullied for watching anime. And now fast forward to 2025. 3 years into watching anime, if watching the Scout Regiment go around and fuck up some titans for the good of mankind makes me a nerd, if watching Gojo use Hollow Purple for the first time and fuck some shit up in the fucking subway makes me a nerd, and finally, if watching some Jin Woo go from an absolute peasant of a man to the biggest aura farmer known to fucking media as a whole makes me a nerd, I'm the biggest fucking nerd there is. 3 fucking years ago, I swore to myself I would never watch this shit. If it wasn't for my friend Michael, who sat me down 3 years ago and was like, I'm gonna show you one episode of this anime I'm watching, and if you don't like it, we'll stop, I would not be here. But he showed me Attack on Titan, and my god, my world was turned upside down. I flew through that motherfucker. I made multiple videos talking about my theories about the show and glazing the fuck out of the thing. That show infiltrated my psyche for months, years, I'd say. There has never been a show that has stuck with me more than Attack on Titan has, and none of it would have been possible if I was just, fucking stubborn in my beliefs that I would not enjoy anime. And now, after being introduced to anime, it felt like getting your first tattoo, because once you get your first tattoo, you want another one. You finish a show that meshes well with you, you finish a show that hits the right points with you, and all of a sudden you're 64 animes deep in the span of 4 months. Whew! But jokes aside, it is amazing. Anime is honestly the most unexpected love I have ever had. But for all the manly men out there whose masculinity is at harm whenever they think about watching anime, shonen is your basic, like, you know, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z. You know, you have the underdog protagonists and we follow them on their journey to get stronger and ultimately reach their final goal, which is more than likely to kill somebody who wronged them in season 1. Even Jujutsu Kaisen, the most popular anime in 2025 at the moment, that is also a shonen, and same with Attack on Titan. That is considered a shonen too. If you are turned off by all of the, you know, like weirdness that you see online about anime, watch Attack on Titan, watch Demon Slayer, watch fucking Black Clover if you want, because that's what I started with, mainly because that's just the type of shit that I'm into, but most men are. As I said at the start of the video, this is not a cartoon. This is not for kids. This would traumatize your kids. Like with Attack on Titan, for instance, you feel like you know how this show is going to play out from the first episode. The first episode starts, you feel like it's going to be like this happy-go-lucky type of, like, you know, adventure type of show where you follow these 3 childhood best friends, like trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. And before you could even finish that thought, the wall gets broken down by a giant colossal titan, and many other titans start working their way in and eating everybody that you once seen, including the main character's mother, in front of him. If that's a cartoon, I don't know what the fuck I grew up with. This man literally sees his mother being eaten like a cheese string in front of his eyes, and he can't do anything about it. It is dark, and it's not just that. Demon Slayer is also dark, even though it has, like, you know, its happy-go-lucky moments and, like, you know, comedy moments as well. Most of the time, it's a gritty fucking show. That misconception alone has fucked up a lot of people's brains when it comes to anime. But if you've seen all of the shows that you enjoy and you cannot find anything else, now is the time to start watching anime. There is literally an anime category for everybody. You have the power fantasies with Solo Leveling, where, you know, he just becomes an absolute menace to society in the span of 2 seasons. I don't have a script for this video, so I'm sorry if it's a little bit all over the place. A lot of people out there might think that their friends will think they're weird if they start watching anime and stuff, but believe me, you have a closeted anime fan amongst you. You do. I wouldn't have thought that I had anyone to talk to about these animes, or, like, you know, anyone to talk about the secret plot threads or, like, the hidden messages and shit that you find in it. So I thought that I was just going to be by myself watching anime with no one to talk to, only to find out that half of my friend group watch anime. It's fucking great. There is such a stigma around it nowadays, and a lot of young people do not want to watch it because of the stigma, and especially now that, like, a lot of people have, like, TikTok and stuff, so you can see the weirdos that come from fucking anime. They're like the Discord moderators from, like, the visual entertainment side of things. You have people who genuinely think that they are the main man Sukuna, you know? You're ruining my favorite show! And I know, if I was somebody from the outside of this world, or outside of this in particular show, watching it on TikTok and seeing these people just being cringy, I would not want to watch that show. Do yourself a favor and open your eyes to the actual masterpieces that anime has to offer. And I'm not going to say this with a joking tone or anything. There are genuine masterpieces made in anime. Some of them I haven't even seen yet. If anyone asked me what my favorite show was before I started watching anime, I would not have been able to give an answer. But now, after being open to the world of anime, if you were to ask me that same question as to what my favorite show of all time is, I would without hesitation tell you it's Attack on Titan. Without a fucking doubt. It is one of the best written stories I have ever fucking watched. It has amazing animation. The epic moments fucking hit. The sad moments hit. The plot twists, I'd never seen any of them coming. And I am a person who 90% of the time while watching, like, you know, Western media, I can see which characters are going to die. I can see where the plot threads are going to go. And most of the time I'm right. I guess the end of the season within the first 2 episodes of the season. And it really is fucking annoying for me. But to me, I think Attack on Titan is the easiest anime for non-anime watchers to get into. And another really good one for people nowadays to get into that I recently started watching and I'm finished it now, which is Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone is basically the entire universe gets, like, covered in this green light which turns the entire populace into stone, and then we fast forward to, like, what, a few thousand years into the future. The earth has taken over everything that man has made, and we're basically back to the Stone Age. And the main character wakes up after being unpetrified from this stone, and he is just this mad scientist character who sees this forest of a world, and his first thought is, yay, we can start again, you know? His main mission is to rebuild human civilization from scratch. And every episode he is inventing a new thing that to us just seems, you know, normal. Like a fucking Coke, a can of Coke. You see like actual science behind what this man is doing on screen. You see him making wine, you see him making so much shit, to the point that like in the part of the show that I'm at now, my man has created a fucking boat, he has created electricity, like all of these things he has created that in normal human history would have been thousands of years apart. And it's just so entertaining to watch. It's so good. The stories and just the medium in and of itself, you cannot tell these stories in any other way, which is why so many like live action adaptations of animes fail. Even just the style of animation in every anime is so fucking different. It's so refreshing, man. I am a lover of animation in general, you know, I've always have been. But nowadays, in the Western world, the most unique animation we've gotten is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, Arcane, which was very unique in and of itself, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, another example of like a unique animation style. And then recently with K-Pop Demon Hunters. Those shows and movies that I just mentioned there are the most creative out of fucking decades of animation, man. Everything else tries to Despicable Me itself, you know? Like just this simple animation that, yeah, for Despicable Me at the time, it was different. Now we fast forward to today, and every Disney movie, every Pixar movie, every animation studio movie looks like that. It's so fucking annoying. Even like say like with Cartoon Network shows, like with the new Ben 10. The original Ben 10, although it was old and it had like, you know, like it did not age well in certain regards, they still look unique. If you see a frame from Ben 10, you know it's OG Ben 10. And then we fast forward to what today's kids see Ben 10 as. And oh god. Oh wait, they actually have like a Ben 10 and Generator Rex crossover episode. Let's see what the... Fuck me, man. Oh wait, but like Ben 10,000 came back in this one. Let's see what Ben 10,000 looks like. Oh my fucking god, man. Ew. How the fuck in 2025 or 2024 or whatever this show fucking came out in, do you make it look worse than the show that came out in 2000, bro? Over 20 years of a difference between these fucking shows, and the original looks better, man. When back in the day, every show had a different, unique style. Gravity Falls was unique back then, but now everything looks like Gravity Falls. But anime is basically what animation used to be like back when we were kids. When it was a different show, had a different style, a different show had a different type of animation. That is the exact same thing as what anime is today. Every single show you watch in anime could be a completely different animation style. You just do not get this level of creativity outside of anime. You just don't. As for me, at this moment in time, I have like a bit of a hatred for sequels and reboots and remakes and stuff like that right now, just because of the volume of how many things are being like made into a live action remake, adaptation, or just like all of these old stories that have already been told and done really well being retold again. It's just very cash grabby to me that like they're just going off of our nostalgia. Don't get me wrong, there are still like really good ones like Sinners. That was a fucking great movie, great concept. So if you are like me and you are fed up with just the same shit being rehashed over and over again just for a fucking cash grab, start watching anime. I'm telling you, please start watching anime. You will fucking thank me. But overall, anime is not for kids. It's not weird. There's literally something for whatever taste you may have. You will see a level of quality in these shows that you don't see in our side of the world anymore. There's so many. I could be here for hours talking about it, and my top picks for like animes you should start with, for example, if you're into action and stuff like that, I would say my top 3 for that would be Attack on Titan, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Solo Leveling. Maybe even a Demon Slayer if you're into that. For mystery, I'd go Link and Click, Lord of Mysteries. And for me, the only 2 romances that I have watched are Call in the Night, banger of a show, and Blue Box. And one show that I can't even put into a category because it covers every side of the spectrum is Dandadan. I'm sure even if you have never watched anime before, you have heard the intro song to Dandadan Season 1. It was fucking everywhere. That show is an actual fucking anomaly. I don't know how they done it. They perfectly mesh comedy, romance, drama, horror, mystery, just all of these different genres and different types of media merged into one show, and it blends seamlessly. It's fucking crazy. For anyone who is still on the fence, start by watching Attack on Titan. If you don't like blood or anything like that, I'd probably say start with like frieren. But those are my shows that I think would be the easiest for a non-anime viewer to get into. So now is the best time you could ever get into anime. Like, honestly. But I'm gonna stop talking now. This video's going on too long. So with that said, folks, I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Comment down below what you thought of the video. We're on the road to 2K subscribers. I didn't think I'd be saying that this fucking soon, but like, we're getting there. So if you're new here and you like my face, make sure to subscribe. Check out the channel. Whole variety of different content on there. And yeah, with that said, folks, it's been EXO, and I'll talk to you all later. Have a good one, folks.